Why are more and more people involved in traffic accidents in the residential areas in The Hague? Influencing individual behaviour of all of the different traffic participants is often the cornerstone of policy. But are we overlooking something in the residential areas? What types of traffic do we want in the residential areas and what do we not want there? And at what times of the day? How is traffic currently regulated in the residential areas? And what do current traffic safety measures actually achieve and how much do they cost? In this video, I'd like to show you the results of months of field research using drones and cameras and analysing data and assessing policy measures. When we zoom out, we see around 3,500 traffic accidents per year in the whole of The Hague. These numbers only take into account the registered road accidents. According to experts, 70% of accidents are not registered. Here we're zooming in to take a look at the number of accidents in a typical residential area, with a shopping street, a few schools, a standard street profile of approximately 15 by 15 streets, and an access road between these two housing estates, which in this example is the Gouden Regenstraat. The overview of the number of ambulance call-outs to this street shows how often ambulances are being called out to this access road and this residential area. Every day there are people falling off their bikes. My field research in this area with drones and cameras on several days and at different times of the day shows something which is not apparent when just looking at the figures. The structural daily chaos which everybody has to try and manoeuvre through. We've grown to find this type of situation normal. Which are the measures currently taken by the City Council? And which of those are known to the public? And what do I find particularly striking? In the municipality of The Hague, lorries are allowed to load and unload in the city after 8 AM, not any earlier, which is exactly the peak hour for cyclists in these residential areas going to school. So, it's normal to see the lorries entering the residential areas at 8 AM every day. If we look at the council's policy with regard to the presence of smaller delivery vans in the residential areas, we see that a conscious choice has been made to allow all types of these delivery vans, full or empty, to drive around and stop to deliver in the streets of residential areas 24 hours a day, with no limits whatsoever. In the city of The Hague there are around 150 million traffic movements. That's cars, lorries and smaller delivery vans per year. That means around 250,000 to 300,000 trips per day by motorised vehicles in the city, both entering and leaving the city, and from Block 1 to Block 2. Now I'd like to zoom in on the access roads between the housing estates, which see the highest total amount of traffic and the highest number of crisscross movements. 80% of all cycling lanes on the access roads do not comply with the legal safety requirements in terms of width. Another striking thing is that the number of crisscross movements between the housing estates is so high that you would need an extreme number of pedestrian crossings to be able to cross the access roads safely. And this in turn means that for the motorised traffic, the access roads become nearly impossible. And that the number of potential collision points for pedestrians and cyclists who want to go from Block 1 to Block 2 increases exponentially. What does traffic safety actually yield and how much does it cost? The yearly cost of traffic accidents to society is 27 billion euros. and 90% of these costs are paid by individual citizens and not by the government. Around 40% of all road traffic accidents happen in and around the residential areas of our cities. Another striking fact is that every euro invested in traffic safety is recovered fourfold for the citizens in the cities. The conclusion? There's an opportunity for new collective traffic designs for our residential areas based on time, place and volumes, which do not depend on individual behaviour. For the citizens in the cities, every euro invested in traffic safety produces a direct profit, and that's not even mentioning the positive effects on the quality of life.